Welcome to Be With Champions. I'm your host, Greg Bennett, and today I get the privilege to have back on the show Mr. Vincent Luis, now two-time Triathlon World Champion. You see, Vincent defended his Triathlon World Championship title this past weekend in Hamburg, Germany. And he shares his mindset and what was fueling him both before the race and during the race. And he describes the race in detail, and then he goes on to describe some of the training that he's been doing these past few months in these uncertain times. And Vincent tells us why he didn't race the mixed relay World Championships, which the French team did end up going on and winning. And he discusses his plan leading up to the Tokyo Olympics in 2021. Always inspiring and just always entertaining. A quick little bit of housekeeping before we go on. Please keep the feedback coming. Loving that. You can go to social media. I'm on Instagram. My name is Greg Bennett World. Twitter, you can go to Greg Bennett 1 or Greg Bennett on Facebook or LinkedIn. Or you can go to iTunes and just give me some reviews or feedback there. I really appreciate that as well. And I'll try and get back to you on the social media platforms if I can. I seem to be doing a reasonable job at that and love having the conversations with you all. Please subscribe to your podcast app of choice. That really helps this show out. And finally, if you want to go to bennettendurance.com/media, that's bennettendurance.com/media. There you can get the show notes for this episode, the timestamps, sponsors, coupon codes, and all the various links. Such an honor to have a chat with Vincent Luis again, two-time Triathlon World Champion. I hope you enjoy it. Cheers. Before we start, I've got to give a quick shout out to the brands that make this show possible. The only brands I'm working with are brands that provide products that I use daily and truly believe in. These products support my immunity, they help improve my recovery and my focus. First up, my friends at Athletic Greens. I love this company and I love their all-in-one daily drink. It's become a part of my morning routine. I'm heavily focused on supporting my immunity and boosting my energy and helping my gut health, but I want to do it naturally. And I found that support with Athletic Greens, a whole food sourced green drink that tastes great and there's no hassle. It's delivered straight to your door. And it's a highly absorbable powder that takes seconds to mix with water, so there's no clumpiness to deal with. I can't believe a green drink sourced from whole foods can actually taste so good. Personally, I truly love it. It's developed from a complex blend of 75 vitamins and minerals. It's packed with adaptogens for recovery, probiotics and digestive enzymes for gut health, and vitamin C and zinc citrate for immune support. So Athletic Greens is designed to help fill the nutritional gaps in your diet. And there's a great offer going on now for you to give it a try. Simply go to athleticgreens.com/Greg to claim our special offer of 20 free daily travel packets with your first order. $79 added value. And get Athletic Greens delivered straight to your door. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Greg. This show is also brought to you by my friends at Hyperice. Some of these products I've been using for almost a decade. Makers of the award-winning Hypervolt, the world's most powerful percussion massage device featuring Quiet Glide technology. Hyperice is a wellness tech company that makes devices designed to help you move better. From handheld massage devices to vibrating foam rollers, thermal technology, and the Normatec compression systems, Hyperice helps you warm up faster, recover quicker, and simply move better. Used in professional training rooms throughout the NBA, the NFL, MLB, the MLS, Ironman, and other professional organizations for well over a decade. Designed to help improve circulation, flexibility, and relieve tension. Get $50 off all percussion devices now, no code needed, and get an additional 10% off with code GREG10 at hyperice.com. That's hyperice.com, HYPERICE.com, and use code GREG10 for 10% off. All right, I've had this man on the show early in the year after he won his first senior Triathlon World Championship title. And that was one of my favorite chats. It was so entertaining and it was just so inspiring. And now he's back just after defending his world title in Hamburg, Germany this past weekend with one of the most powerful performances I think I've seen in the sport. An incredible swim, bike, and that dominating run at the end was just unbelievable. I feel so honored to have him back on. So welcome and a special thank you for coming back on Be With Champions. One of my favorite people in the world, Mr. Vincent Luis. How are you, champ?
Hey, I'm really good, Greg. Thanks for having me again. How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing very, very well. And it was just so exciting for all of us to finally get to see some incredible racing on the weekend. So thank you for putting on such an incredible show for us. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, good. I'm still a bit sore from the race, to be honest, and but yeah, I feel good. When you wake up in the morning as a world champ, you kind of forget that your calves are really tight and all these kind of stuffs.
I know, and especially you guys. I mean, you haven't raced at all this year, and so to go out and just punish yourselves like you did over that sort of, just under 50 minutes for you guys, it really can be pretty tough on the body, can't it? Without that kind of race specific training that we usually get by having, usually by this time of year, you've already done sort of 10 races. So you've pulled up a little sore, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been like 10 months since October that I haven't raced, so I was a bit like, wow, this is gonna be a real shock. And yeah, I was lucky enough to share some of my training with really strong athletes, so it kind of reminds you how hard it is. But yeah, that was for sure a really hard race, a short one, and you put everything you have for yeah under 15 minutes. So yeah, you're not really working straight on the days after.
Mm. I have no idea. How did you keep your? I'm really curious how you kept your motivation and that, without knowing if you were going to race at all this year. And yet you guys, and especially in the Joel Filiel squad, you all did outstanding. I think Mario was a little off on the weekend, but how did you keep the motivation to push, especially at the intensity that it takes to win a race like that?
First of all, I think I really do like training.
Mm-hmm.
I just enjoy that. Just being like riding my bike, running and swimming. I just like this. So it's never like really forced when I get out of the door and I have to train. And I think Joel, it's how you can say he's a really good coach. Took really good decisions for us. When we start the lockdown, he just told us, okay, right now we just go back to aero training. We keep the base. We don't do anything fast because doing something fast is gonna drain you. It's gonna drain your motivation. You're gonna see that you're not going as fast as you should be, and all this stuff. And if you go fast and you don't have a race, you kind of feel you did this for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. As soon as the lockdown started, I just basically go to 30 hours, but super easy. And I did that for like 12 weeks, I think, or something. And then when we actually had real dates on races, that's when we start the build up. And then you can see every single week you improve, every single week you go faster. And that's really something that boosts you to train harder and to train like longer and everything. So yeah, I think the fact that we did not burn too many matches during
Mm-hmm.
this, let's say, March to July period was really good to be ready to fight during this race.
Because you hadn't done any race before, because you didn't do the arena games, the Super League arena games that Macca put on. Had you done any races before this?
No, I haven't done anything. I was just I mean, I knew from ITU that Hamburg was going to happen. That was the big one that was going to happen, and we weren't really sure about Bermuda and Montreal. So I just told Joel, okay, I don't feel that I want to race a French Grand Prix or something. So let's just go to Font. Let's just go up in the mountains, train super hard for 6 to 8 weeks, and having a one shot. And I mean, this
Mm,
season is all gonna be about who wins the only big race where almost everyone is there. So
mm.
that was my plan A since the start. So you can imagine 2 weeks before the race when they say, "Oh, this race is gonna be world champ," and that's the race you target since like 6 months. You're kind of happy, huh?
Yeah, I love that. But it's like you said, I'm going to have. I mean, it's kind of like you've won a World Series World Championship last year, and this year you won the one day World Championship. So you've kind of done it both. Does it feel like that to you?
Yeah. I was. I did not think about it actually, but
Well, the only other two people that
yeah,
have done that, Javier Gomez has done it when it used to be, a one-day event, and same with
yeah,
Helen Jenkins. I believe they're the only two that have done both the series way of doing it and the one day. But now you can add your name to that list.
yeah. But it's funny because as you know, before the race, that was a bit controversial about. Oh yeah, it's a sprint distance. It's only a one-day race. It's a short notice, just 2 weeks before the race and everything. And
Mm.
I remember after the race, I got a text from my squad mate, Martin van Riel, that
Mm-hmm.
watched the race. He was injured and did not race. And he told me, oh, you put a big stop to the controversy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You just kept your title. So nobody is going to say you don't deserve it. And nobody is going to say anything because it's basically as this world champ, just confirm what you did and you just world champ and now you can represent it. So that's good.
He's exactly right, and I think all of us had that kind of mutual feeling. I think it was, and not to undermine the incredible athletes you're up against, but I think we were all kind of going, well, a world championship with 2 weeks notice, and like you just said, sprint race, blah blah blah. And it was going, oh, I don't know. And then when you came through and basically defended your title, and I think all of us were like, that's perfect. It was actually the perfect way to finish it. So I think I agree with Martin on that one. I think it was wonderful that you got to defend it and do just such an amazing job in the process. The race itself, I want to move on to that because that was really why I wanted you on this show while it's still so fresh in your mind. Firstly, they increased the field size from 55 to 65, and in a sprint race, and anybody that's done a triathlon knows that first swim buoy is absolutely petrifying, especially if we don't swim like you. But what were your thoughts when they said, okay, we're going to have this race, we're going to increase the field to 65? Did that bother you?
No, I mean, once again, it was in my favor. I know I will be in the top five at the buoy. I was like
Wow.
swimming really well. The last trainings, like, I mean, in the pool, I was really a machine. Like I did like really, really strong sessions and I knew that I would be one of the first athletes at the buoy. So I was just like, oh, okay, just add people. It's just gonna bother the others behind me. And so I was glad about that. And, I was just going into this race, just saying, they can do whatever they want. They can change the order. They can do whatever they want. Like it is what it is. And I'm ready. I'm strong swim, bike, run, and I'm gonna do it. No matter what, no matter the weather,
Mm.
no matter the race, hilly, flat, whatever you can do. They say, oh, Alistair is racing. Oh, Jake is not racing. Oh, I was like, yeah, I don't care. I'm just gonna race. And I'm gonna race
Just
hungry,
going to
and I'm just gonna do my best to win. And that was my mindset when they were like changing the things. Even
mm.
1 week before they announced that the prize money will be just the prize money of a normal World Series, like not even a grand final or not even the bonus pool. So I was just like, I did not even think about it. Like
Mm.
I was just like, they decided it's world champs. It's not gonna change. It's official. So now you have to deal with one fact on Saturday we'll have a new world champ, or I'll be world champ again. And that was my mindset for the full prep.
I love that. I had Mark Webber on Formula One driver from Australia, and we talked about adaptability, that the champions can adapt quickly. And we spoke about Roger Federer and a number of other athletes, but you've just nailed it with that ability to not get hung up on anything and adapt and adapt and adapt. And I think that ability, especially this year with everything that's going on, adapt in your training, adapt in your mindset, adapt in all the different kind of rules and regulations they're putting on the race. And I think that's the real mind of a champion there. It's absolutely incredible. And what I also love about what you just said is the confidence. Were you working? I mean, obviously your training was giving you tremendous feedback and you're training with some of the best guys in the world. But were you working on that confidence? Were you, working on visualizing? Were you doing any of these things, or was it just came naturally?
Uh, yeah, I think it came, like for me personally, it comes with like kind of weeks of training, not really doing crazy sessions, but because it's not like how Joel really manages the training, but it's more about like having consistent training, like being able to get out of the door every day, do what Joel asks, don't skip session, don't be too sore the day after a hard session. That's more how I think. If I go to the start line and I've done everything that I could to be strong, included recovery, sleeping, diet, everything, I know I'll be strong. And if someone beats me, he's just stronger, and I can accept that. But and to be honest, you don't have any stress when you show up on the start line with this mindset, because you're just like, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. I did everything I could to put like the cards in my hands, and the other cards are just in the other guy's hands, and I can't deal with that. So I'm just gonna adapt. I'm just gonna do my best. Whoever wins is the best. And yeah, that was just my thing. That was just like, I'm ready for this race, and now we're gonna make what we have to do.
Yeah, you're free. You're free to explore. You know what I mean? You're free to just let it loose and see what happens when you have that kind of mindset without a definite expectation on a result. It's just I want to show my fitness. That's all I want to do, and that's
just,
really free. Yeah,
you're just super excited. I mean, I was like, first, you see the race on the paper, you're just like, oh, okay, it's an out and back. There is 2 cones, and that's gonna be World Championships. And then you get into like the atmosphere of the race. You see the guys, and you check the race course. You can feel the vibes, and you're like, wow, but this race is really basic, but I really like it. I don't know. I'm gonna show them what I did during training, and I'm just gonna smash it, because I want a race. I mean, I'm hungry for races, and it's a world title on the line. You can't really spit on it. You're just gonna race your life, because this race, I mean, is gonna make you world champion, and we all need a world champion for 2020. And if it's not you, it's someone else. And I mean, yeah, I mean that's for me, races, and I say that a lot. It's you win or you lose. There is no second. Who I don't know. Who wants to be second? Who wants to play video games and lost? Who wants to? I don't know. It's winning is making the others lose, and you just want to win the race. And that was really my mindset. I mean, I never thought about, oh yeah, medal will be good. It's just like, I'm gonna race from the start and trying to stay at the front, and I'm gonna push hard and put everyone in the edge. And yeah, that was really how I get into this race. Just, it's a basic race, it's a basic course. There is nothing really like fancy, but at the end of the day, there will be a world champion, and I'm gonna do my best for it to be me.
I love that. I think it's like, once you've had a taste of winning, it's kind of like you want more of it, don't you? It's like this, hang on, winning, people say winning's not everything, but I kind of feel like once you've had a taste of winning, you kind of go, actually, it kind of is. When you punish yourself, like you said, 30 hours a week of training, and you prepare and you do everything you can, it really is just either win or you don't win, you lose. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, what was the race itself? I mean, we saw you all wearing masks, and I saw Richard Murray's YouTube video. It was like you guys had online briefings and that kind of thing. Did it have a different feel, or was the energy still right for you to be able to get excited?
Yeah, it's really different, actually. Well, I did not really, to be really fair, I did not really miss the mass briefing, and I'm kind of
none of us do.
Yeah, you know what? I did not even check online the briefing. I just did not care. So I mean, bike recon, swim recon, run recon, and you're good. I mean, it's a triathlon, it's a race. You swim, bike, run. You have 2 transitions, and nothing's different. But yeah, the thing is more for me. During the race, no crowd. I did not feel any difference. I wasn't in France, and you race like all out for 45 minutes. You're like so focused that you did not even notice there is no public. But for me, it's more after the race, you get onto the podium, and then you have to put your own medal around your neck. You sing the national anthem, nobody's singing with you, and then at the end, there's like 10 people clapping their hands. And from Lausanne last year, where a lot of my friends were actually there singing with me and cheering and everything, to Hamburg this year with nobody, basically. I mean, that was just my physio and my coach clapping their hands. It's just a a really different feeling. But at the end of the day, when you lay on your bed and you reflect on what you did, yeah, that's just the same. That's just exactly the same. And I really think that if some guys were there, and I actually think a lot about Jake Birtwhilstle,
Mm.
I think he would have had big chances to beat me. So I know that. And I think in endurance sports, we smart enough and we know how hard it is and how hard it is to be strong on this kind of sport, to recognize that. I know the circumstances prioritize me, and I'm aware of that. But it is what it is, and I would have been happy to race them and to race against them and having a race with everyone. But I can't deny that it's a world title, and it is what is gonna fill my fridge this year. So I'm glad with that.
Yeah, I think you've just got to accept what it is, and I think I think you're right in mentioning Jake, that he's obviously been there or thereabouts for years now, and he won 2 World Series titles, last year. Incredible athlete. You mentioned him, and you say he possibly. Where do you think he would have got you?
With 1K to go, I start to like really push the pace,
Mm.
and it's the kind of thing that Jake would have done too. And I remember thinking with like 800, 700 meters to go, these guys, Vasco Vilacha and Leo Beger, they,
Mm.
they they have to drop. They're gonna drop because usually when I do that or when Jake does that, it's only him and me. So they will drop for sure. And after
Mm.
500 meters, like with 500 meters to go, I was just like, okay, whew, good. That's a normal day. Nothing magic's gonna happen. But yeah, as soon as I crossed the line, I remember this finish in Hamburg when he passed me with like 50 meters to go, and
That's right. Yeah.
I was just, to be fair, I was glad he wasn't there.
Well, I think it's really nice of you to at least mention some of these guys, and for people listening, the Australians, New Zealanders, South Africans, Canadians aren't allowed to leave their countries at the moment. It feels like the Commonwealth, half the Commonwealth aren't allowed to leave, and so there was a few countries missing from the World Championships. But in saying that, it still was an incredibly stacked field with desperate athletes that, like you said, haven't raced for 10 months and were just chomping at the bit just to have the opportunity to race. And you could see that. And when you look at the men's finishing times and the field, it was basically every 1 to 2 seconds was a man crossing the line in that race on the weekend. And so, yes, I think you were physically ready, obviously, to be world champion and to defend. But that confidence and that mindset is the difference, I think, in those few seconds. That the difference between a champion and somebody sort of finishing in the top 10. And I think you really came going, I want to make sure that this world title stays with me. And it was evidence in the way that we watched you race. I think it was just absolutely fantastic. And what about like over the last 4 months or so, I seem like every time we go on social media, I see one of your competitors dropping a 5K time on the track. Alex Yee, for example, the young British man who ran a 13:26. Your teammate, Connex, who ran a 13:41 on the track. And I know Richard Murray and Jonathan Brownlee also did really fast. Did they concern you, or were you doing the same kind of work and going, okay, I'm in the mid-13s for 5K myself?
It's a really good question actually, and I'm glad you asked that because I'm not really using social media a lot. I'm trying to go like less than 45 minutes a day, which is already I think a lot. But yeah, some of my friends, like every time there is a new training PB posted, they send it to me. Oh, you see this guy run that, this guy run that. So first,
Nice.
yeah. So first of all, and to be really clear with you and honest, the only thing I trust is the track. Whatever's done on the road, and even more at training, wow, you can make it tell whatever you want. Huh? So Alexi is impressive, but Alexi is a really good runner. Everyone knows that, and everyone knows his weaknesses. But yeah, I mean, these guys are strong, but we're doing triathlon, and I would love to see what they do on the 400 meters in long course in the pool in the same day. And
Could you tell me? Could you tell me? I mean, you mentioned some of your swim workouts. Is there anything you'd be willing to share with me on this show? The kind of things that were giving you confidence in the pool?
uh, yeah, I can. In altitude, for me, a good session is I don't know, 40 by 50 long course, 45-second cycle in under 30. I think that's a good set for me.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
And that's at
Or
altitude. That's Font Romeu, you guys are at,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
That's not a
yeah,
fast pool, by the way. I always felt that pool was really slow when I trained there. Maybe it was just me.
yeah, yeah. No, no, we did a few. I mean, I was swimming with good swimmers like Martin Van Riel or Alessandro Fabian, and yeah, you it's funny because Joel is not the guy that gives the time, gives the splits when you touch the wall. He's not like, oh yeah, 63 or 64. No, he's not that guy that waits for like other athletes to be on the side of the pool and saying, oh, Vince 59, good, good, and this kind of coaches. Everyone knows this one,
Yeah.
but he's more like, okay, I mean, you guys are front pack swimmers. If you're too far behind, you're not gonna make the front pack. If you with the guys, you're gonna make the front pack, and that's what it is, because open water is different and everything's different. So yeah, I'm really glad I'm in this group with such talented athletes, and I can just judge my shape with swimming next to guys like them.
Mm. And so on the start line, you're confident. You've picked number one. You've picked far right. Was the I mean, was that I mean, I always, anytime I had world number one, it was always get on the sides. I always felt like it was just the cleanest water and the least amount of drag. Was the swim course, did it look accurate to you looking to that first swim buoy?
Yeah, we actually measured it with like a laser, and
Mm,
it says that it was basically the same. And I was happy to start on the right side, and I knew Mario will pick the spot next to me, and then Alaza. So they two guys that swims a bit slower than me. So I was happy to have a bit more clear water and to be inside on the inside side of the buoy. And yeah, I don't know. It just I'm not really superstitious or something, but yeah, picking the number one is just something you do instantly. I don't know. And it's funny because after the race, I thought about this like little instance about like picking number one on the start line, or the day or the week before the race, we went out for a ride with my friend and we saw a rainbow, and we were just like, wow, I don't know, that's something like a sign or whatever. But it's just funny that you realize these things you after the race, and you did not think about it before, and you're just like, wow, there were some stuff that were showing I was going to do good, huh?
Isn't it funny? I mean, we can all play these kind of games, and you got to be careful not to get too superstitious, especially before the races. But I know I used to room with Chris McCormack before a lot of the races, and we used to play this game the whole time. Oh, well, I'm going to win because this just happened, or like we used to make this stuff up all the time. But I like the fact that you chose number one on the pontoon. I think that was great. During the swim, you did move into the lead, halfway through the swim, and then it was almost like did you decide to let Alistair come through and take the lead in, or was he just putting everything in and going past you?
Yeah, I was planning to take the lead. I mean, I was planning to push the pace, and after maybe 200, 250 or 300 meters, the Austrian guy went on the side, and I went at the front, and yeah, I was just pushing hard, but not too hard, keeping some energy for the last few hundred meters, and the
Mm.
transition with the stairs, and it's quite a long transition. And then I saw Alistair, like, typical Alistair, going like a maniac, and I was just like, oh, okay, mate. The thing is, when you front pack swimmers, you know how to swim to be efficient as a group. And I didn't want to get into his hip. I could have like stay into his hip and just like kind of cruise to the finish, to the end of the swim. But I was just like, no, I'm gonna stay on my side, make sure I put 2 meters behind each other, and having people take a decision. They follow me, they follow him. They have to change direction. They have to look at the exit, and I don't want to slow him down. So I'm just gonna let him on his side. And yeah, he was really strong. I think he was really willing to push the pace, end of the swim, start of the bike. But yeah, I was happy for him to take the pool and start the bike as hard as he did, because yeah, I think that was a crucial moment and a really good push for the breakaway to happen.
Yeah, I thought that was incredible, actually. And just to touch on what you're saying for people that don't know, when you ride on somebody's hip or right on their side, you actually slow down the person that's front. It's like a drag effect, and so what you've done is allow Alistair some room and you some room to keep the speed high, and that allows the whole race to string out a little bit more. And then Alistair did get out onto that bike. That first kilometer of the bike, 2 kilometers, just looked really painful. Was that really quick and as painful as it looked on the telly?
Yeah, he was definitely strong. He was definitely the strongest in the first group, and I was just like a few seconds behind him after T1, and I had to bridge the gap. But it's already as if you take a pull at the front. So as soon as I get into his wheel, I was just like, "Wow, mate, I'm not sure I can take a pull right now."
And then he bruises you, right?
Yeah,
then he screams at you like, "I just got here."
Yeah. No, I mean, now we're good with Alistair. We don't yell at each other. We used to do that, but no, now we're good.
Yeah.
I think he finds some respect for me in deep himself. So it's a bit better now. But yeah, I mean the first 2 laps were really full on. I was glad the 2 French guys, Leo and Dorian, took some good pulls too. I think Johnny was struggling. He told me after the race he was not really feeling good, and we dropped a few guys on the way. And after 2 laps, I was able to take my pulls and walk in the group. But yeah, that was still a good ride. I mean, a hard ride. I think I have 325 watts average or something for 68 kilograms, which is good. And yeah, we worked hard. We worked all together, and I think we were all keen to have this breakaway staying away. And yeah, the guys behind did a good job. I think the Norwegians were up the front a lot, trying to bridge to us. And yeah, that's the poker game, you just the first one that's gonna give up. And yeah, we eventually managed to have 20 seconds after the bike. And I mean, in my head, I was just thinking, as soon as I have 10 to 12 seconds on a guy like Yele, I can play a bit and I should be fine.
Wow, is that all? You'd done the math. You were kind of like 10 to 12 seconds. That's incredible. It was fantastic racing because neither group let up. So you could tell, like you said, 325 watts average over the 20K with all those dead end U-turns and all of that. The Norwegians, like you said, Christian Blumenfeld, he's just a diehard, just loves to smash himself. Richard Murray was there. They were absolutely killing themselves. You mentioned Johnny Brownlee. Yeah, he definitely looked like he was a little off, and even towards probably the last kilometer of the bike with you guys, he kind of even tailed off just a fraction. He just didn't look himself. And I think it was largely, I think it was because his brother smashed it so hard early. But anyway, that's probably another story. But I love the racing, the fact that nobody gave up and nobody wanted to skip a turn. It was like this race that everybody wanted for the last 10 months, the last year, and everybody was desperate to get a performance. And that was what made the race so special to watch. But then you jump out onto the run, and you've got this young man, the youngest in the race, Vasco Vilaça from Portugal, that just took off like a maniac, as any 20-year-old kid, I guess, would do. And I call him a kid. I should call him a man. That's not fair. But absolutely went for it. Your teammate, Leo Berger, went with him, and then you kind of were bridging the gap over to them. That first kilometer or two, take me through that.
Yeah, so actually the first K was slightly downhill and on kind of a gravel road. And, I mean, I was where they are right now. I mean, fighting for a medal for Worlds when you're 20, 25 years old, and yeah, for sure you're gonna start fast. And with Joel, we had this chat before the race, and he told me everyone is going to start all out for 1K because everyone is hungry and desperate to have a good result. So when it settles down after 1 to 1.5K, it's when you pull the hammer down, when you put the hammer down. And that was exactly that. And when we start the run, I was just like, okay, just relax for this first K, absorb the bike a bit. And as soon as you hit the road, it's like a slightly uphill with headwind, and they're gonna slow down for sure. And that's when you push the pace and when you make sure that you stay away from the second group, and you start to work on them and to make them tired, to make sure they don't attack you later. And then you start thinking about your finish.
What a phenomenal race plan. I love that. Just a quick mini break before we get back to the show. I just want to remind you guys to go check out athleticgreens.com/Greg. Sign up and get your free 20 daily travel packets with your first order of $79 added value. That's athleticgreens.com/Greg. Wise words from Joel, that, and again, it's that patience, that ability to use your weapons at the right time. When do I fire my bullets? And you could see that in the race when you move to the front, right at about that 1K, 1,500 meters. And then you were getting a chance to look at some of the guys coming from behind every now and then. You got a little U-turn a couple of times, didn't you, on the run there? To see where they were. When did you go, okay, I'm racing just the two guys I'm with? Was there a point where you're like, I don't have to concern myself with anyone else behind?
Yeah, I think after let's say after 3K. So that was the second to last U-turn, and I know we just had one more out and back, so 2K to finish, and I was like really not really digging deep, and I saw that Yelegins and Richard Murray did not really bridge to us. They were still like 10 to 15 seconds behind, and I knew I still had some gears. And 2K to go, I was kind of confident, and I was already starting to think about, okay, how do I manage these two guys with me now? And but I couldn't really slow down because they were still like only 10 seconds behind. I mean, it's 5 seconds per K, and it's
really, nothing.
It's really nothing. So yeah, I kept pushing, and eventually, with let's say 200 meters to go before the last U-turn, I just slowed down to see if this guy thinks I was like kind of being weak, but I mean, they were struggling to take a pull. Actually, only Leo went at the front, and I saw he wasn't really keen to go, and he would have rather stay behind me. So as soon as I saw that, I knew they were almost all out. And after the last U-turn, 1K to go, I just went really fast to make sure that I can drop them before the sketchy finish.
The sketchy thing. I mean, you would still back yourself in a sprint. I mean, you probably want, like you said, I think you mentioned Jacob Birtwhilstle has an incredible sprint, but I'd put you kind of right there. I mean, did you just decide you didn't want to risk it? Was that the whole plan?
Yeah, I was feeling really good actually, and I wanted to push and to see if I can drop them before. The sprint is always, even if you're better, it's still there's still a risk. There is still something. You don't know the last corner. You just like miss the corner, or something goes wrong, and it's really little margin. And if you can make yourself safe before that, and actually you have the capability of doing that's better. And since 1K, I was already feeling that I kind of could drop them, but I wanted still to have them with me in case I was in the need of them to take some pulls with the headwind. So yeah, I thought about the sprint finish, but I felt strong enough, and I trusted my instinct, to start earlier. And this question is a good question, because I had the same after after Gold Coast 2018. I attacked with 1 lap to go, so 2.5K to go. And I remember the French staff was like, "Why are you attacking now? Just wait for the last 300 meters, and you're gonna beat them." And it's just instant. You just feel it's the moment. It's a lot. When you're racing, all your senses are just like fully on, and you hear them breathing a bit more. You feel just a bit more confident. You feel a bit more the wind on your face or whatever, and you're just like, "Wow, this is now. I'm gonna pull really hard right now, and if I'm all out, they're all out. So I just have to make them believe that they're gonna drop before me." And yeah, it's just instant. I just had this feeling, and I took the chance.
You know what I love about that is that it's that kind of mindset of being completely present in the moment. You're not thinking about, hey, I'm going to win a world title or what. You're just thinking about, how do I feel? How can I hear them breathing? And I had Mark Allen, and excuse me if I've retold this story to listeners, but I love the fact that he talked about, always quietening the mind in a race, sort of the negative noise, the positive noise, just be quiet. And he said when he finally, in the 1989 Ironman, broke away from Dave Scott, and had taken Mark 7 years by this stage to try and win Kona. And he said he had no real race plan or anything towards the end there. He just noticed when Dave went to grab a cup of water with a mile to go, just over a mile, and he just heard something yell in his head, "Go now." It was like this snap fire, right? And he said, look, if it was because I was just so quiet, I was ready to hear that, and I think there is that instinct in a racer to know when that right moment is. And then, you did that so well. You ended up opening up probably more like 5-second lead, to be honest. And then you grab something out of your jersey, a headband, a Phoenix headband. Crossing that line, 2 questions in this. Firstly, the feeling of crossing the line. Was it emotional joy? Was it relief? Was it a little quiet because there was no crowd, and did it feel like a world championship? Tell me about that moment of crossing the line first.
I think as you say, I wasn't thinking, oh yeah, it's world championships. Oh, you're gonna do it. You're gonna be 2 times world champ. And just when I realized that I took the tape, I was just like, whoa, it's done. It's done. You're good. It's finished now. You can just let everything go. I was, this kind of races when it's 45 minutes and you're gonna fight for your career. It's like, you're kind of angry. You're kind of, wow, this guy, with 65 or 66 on the start line, and the only thing they want to do is beat me. They just want to beat everyone. So yeah, it's we're using the word beat. So it's a fight, and when you finish, you're just like, wow, it's done. I don't have to think about it anymore, and yeah, I'm good now. I'm good for at least 1 year. So it's just, I would say it's more like, yeah, relief. I would use this word. If I would have to pick one, I would use this word.
Yeah, I think I like that. I think understanding that it is a fight and you're going to get, basically a lot of these guys are your mates, but I always describe it to people. It's like you're playing a touch football game, if you play rugby or one of these contact sports, and it's touch football, it's not tackle, but every now and then one of your mates is going to hit you hard, and it's like Alistair Brown is going to hit you hard in those first few kilometers of the bike, and kind of, you're like, whoa, this is meant to be touch footy. For me, that was always kind of the mindset I had, that we're kind of playing this game. I'm playing with a whole group of mates, and it's who's going to hit each other every now and then, and who's going to come out swinging. So I love that analogy of it being a fight. And then you cross the line. Post-race, you dedicated the race to a guy by the name of Arthur. Tell me a little bit about who he is.
Yeah, so it happened actually a week before the race on the Friday night. I got a text from one of my best friends, and he said that Arthur's wife just called him and say, "Oh, Arthur went for a run at 6, and it's now 8:30 is not back, and do you heard about him? Do you know where he is? And so my friend called me and he said, "Oh, what do you think we should do?" And I say, "Oh, just grab a mountain bike and go at the usual loop that we do on the wood and just check where he is." And I text him at 9, and he called me back and he said, "Oh, we found him. He is dead, and he had a heart attack when he was running." And I was like, "Whoa, that's insane." He had a wife, 2 kids, 2 years old kids, and he was 27 years old. So it's just like you're just telling yourself that could have been me. And in 1 week I'm gonna race world championships, and even more now that I'm like, I won worlds 2 times. Everyone's super happy for me, but yeah, I mean the Tuesday after his dad died, this kid went to school for his first day of school without his dad, and that's the real thing. I mean, that's the real life. Winning titles nice, but it's never gonna bring him back. And I did not think about it during the race. It's a bit different. I mean, it's just that it just before it helps you to think about something else, to just say, I'm just gonna do a triathlon, and it's a race, it's sport, it's fun. Okay, it's my job, but I'm alive, and this guy's gone. I'm never gonna see him again, and there's nothing I can do about it. So yeah, I think that was just the minimum that I could do, just to have a quick word for him. And we actually trying to do something. I think I'm gonna put my tri suit that I wore in auctions or something, trying to to put some money for his wife and the kids, and see what we can get from that. And that's
well, let me know how I can help with that. I'd be happy to promote that on the show. And mate, thank you for sharing. Yeah. And I'm very, very sorry for you and obviously Arthur's family.
But that's something I remember. So I learned that, and I just went to bed, and the day after I went for a ride just with one of the squad member, Delian Statef, an Italian guy, and I told him, because I don't know, he was like, "Oh, you don't look like super normal," and I told him, but I also asked him to don't tell anyone, and I actually did not tell anyone, because I wanted to keep that inside me, this anger, and just like deliver it, and having it helping me for the race. And that was a tough moment. But life's hard. Life knocks you in the face. It knocked me once in 2015 with the loss of Laurent, and it is how it is, and you have to move forward and help the people that stays as much as you can. And it's just sad moments, and we just have to be grateful for what we're living right now, because it can stop really quick.
It really can. And I don't think life is ever given more perspective than death. None of us go through life not knowing people that pass away all too soon. And, it's wonderful what you're trying to do for the family. It was great that, you were able to use that as fuel to optimize your own life. And I think that was really remarkable. And I appreciate you sharing that story. I did see you dedicate it, at the finishing line, and I was curious about that, and I knew it was close to home. So I really appreciate that. I want to move on a little bit. The mixed relay, was that your decision not to race, or the French just deciding to give everybody a go at having a world title?
Actually, it's a bit more funny than that. So the French Federation just took the decision to make us, how can I say that, to make us do it yourself for the race. They basically send us a letter like 3 weeks prior to the race saying, "Oh, the doctor doesn't want you to go, and we don't advise you to go. We basically don't want you to race international. It's too dangerous and everything." So I was like, yeah, but I need to pay my bills. I need to fill my fridge. So I'm gonna race. I'm gonna be safe, but I'm gonna race. And so I actually took my plane tickets. I took my room and everything. I planned everything. And they sent another email saying, "Oh, for the ones going, we're not gonna pay. So you have to pay everything for your travel." I was like, "Yeah, fine. I mean, I don't care. I'm just gonna go." And so I asked them, "So should I stay for Sunday? Is there any other athletes coming? What's the deal?" And that was like 3 weeks before the race. And they say, "Oh, we don't know. We're not sure the girls are gonna race. We don't know. Okay, you can just take a plane for Sunday. It's fine. We're not sure we're gonna make a team." So that's how it decided for the full story.
Oh, and here I thought the French coach was making sure, I don't know, every guy and girl that he had in his man or woman, I should say, in his squad got a chance to fill a world championship medal or experience it. And I thought, oh, isn't that kind of a clever coach? But okay, so the French were lucky to have a team at all, and then they've walked away with another world championship team relay title. I mean,
Yeah, it wouldn't have changed like a lot. I mean, these guys are super strong. I mean, they finished third and
oh yeah,
sixth in the individual.
yeah.
We know the girls are really fast on short distances, and they're really putting all out for the relay. So yeah, I wasn't really, I did not feel really guilty to leave. And I'm racing Calovivari the World Cup on Sunday, and it's a really tough race. And yeah, my coach Joel also told me, it's better if you don't race the relay. It allows you one more day to rest and come back home a day earlier. And so yeah, that was luckily that I did not race, and also yeah, the funny part of the story with the federation.
All right. So you mentioned next week you've got a World Cup race. Tell me about sort of this next phase of your life leading up to Tokyo 2021. Racing, what's your kind of plan, or is it hard to plan right now? Is it just kind of do some races that are available right now and then sort of figure it out as it goes?
Yeah, I want to race. So for the end of the year, I'm gonna race whatever is on the calendar. I'm just keen to race, so I'm planning to race, yeah, Calovivari, a Conti Cup even in France, an indoor Conti Cup that I'm gonna race, some non-draft Olympic distance in France too, and yeah, for next year, I mean, hopefully the World Series will start again, and I'm gonna stick to the normal schedule starting in March, and then going in altitude for the final prep. I think I'm gonna go to Font. It's a good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good location. I like it, and they speak good French up there. So I'm just gonna stick to what we did for 2019 and what the plan was for this year. I think we still we're still improving with Joel in the way we communicate, in the way we train, and he start to understand my body a bit better, how I recover and how I deal with the training. So yeah, that's interesting. And I mean, I'm like all the others. We're just waiting for ITU to give us races and to make sure we can have some races leading to the Olympics.
What are you going to do for heat acclimatization for Tokyo? Have you guys got a plan in place for that?
Yeah, we actually met someone in front that gave us a lot of advices about heat prep and everything. We did some tests already. I'm used to do some training with these pills that you that you get, and you can track your temperature. So yeah, it's a hard process because you want to do it, you have to do it, but you don't want to overdo it because it can really burn you actually, and we saw that on few people. So yeah, we're still learning, and I'm lucky to have Jan Frodeno living not too far from me, so I can ask him some advice because I think he deals good with the heat.
Well, he did very well in Beijing when he won that, didn't he?
Yeah,
Back in
yeah.
2008. And no, he's a good neighbor to have, and he's a good sounding board to have. Jan Frodeno, who was on this show a few episodes back now, but just a wealth of knowledge to have. And it's funny, you've talked about doing all these smaller races and things towards the end of the year. It's amazing how the quality of field is suddenly going to be really high for some of these races.
Yeah.
Guys like yourself haven't had a chance to race at all, and I know all these sort of young men and women are like, oh crap, am I going to go to a Conti Cup and Vincent Luis, a 2-time world champions, just turning up? I just think that's hilarious. And the other thing I wanted to just have a laugh about was the post race interview. They made you wear a mask even for that. And I thought one of you guys could pass out trying to wear one of those masks after you've just crossed the line after a sprint triathlon and then trying to do an interview. How was that?
Yeah, it's yeah, it's funny, I mean, we just followed the protocol, and I was surprised. I mean, actually, before the interview, I was like, oh yeah, okay, should I leave the mask? I was like, no, keep it. I'm like, yeah, we like 2 meters away. It's fine. I mean, I had 6 guys in the breakaway speeding on me every 5 seconds. So if something have to happen, I would be on the ground right now. So yeah, that's obviously good. I think nobody wants to take any risk, and they feel responsible about it. And I appreciate the process they had, making everyone showing up with a test within the 48 hours prior to your arrival in Germany, having some temperature check before the race and all this stuff. I think that's good. But I really wish we can race normally, like as normal really soon. Huh?
I think it'll happen, mate. I think normality will return. But for us as fans, watching you guys, it was just great to get an event. I think, like you said, it's just great to be out racing, and then hopefully normality returns sooner rather than later. And I also want to give a shout out to Taylor Spivey. You missed it. Also,
yeah.
She retained her fourth place. So
yeah, she did really good, and actually she was a few days before the race. She wasn't even sure to race. She has a bit of a niggle in her foot since a few months, and we're trying to deal with that. But when you're not in your country, it's never easy to get all the care and everything. So she was struggling. She was with me in front, and I think that's good. We were together during this period. That was a bit tough for her, and I told her, and even also funny facts like federations. They told the Americans a few days before the race that this race is gonna be discretionary for Tokyo Olympics. So you're like,
really?
What?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and I'm kind of the Mr. Positive of the couple. So I was just like, yeah, it's good because you strong swim and bike. These girls, they're keen to make a breakaway. You're gonna be fine. And you have the Nike Alpha Flies, so you're gonna run faster than everyone. And she actually had a really good run, and I'm super proud because she really believed in herself. She put her at the front, and like running with a girl like Lindemann, that's a sure value. And I think, yeah, she was really happy with that. She did also really good in the mixed team relay, and I hope if whoever is picking the team for USAT and listening this interview is keen to pick her for Tokyo, and telling her as soon as possible.
I'd be very surprised. It really, for me, you've got both Taylor and Katie Safaris. I don't know. It's pretty obvious that should be your 2 and 3 on the team after Summer Rappaport made it on the team last year. I mean, I would have thought that was pretty obvious, but again, I don't want to get him mixed up in that, and I don't need to get abuse from people that disagree with me, but that's kind of how it should look. And I was just happy for you both that, Taylor finished 4th in the World Championships last year in the World Championship Series, and then she's pulled off the one day and finished 4th as well. And so I thought, I think you guys won in terms of the couples on the race course, which is always a race within a race, I think, because you've got
Yeah.
Richard Murray and Rachel Klammer, and there's a couple of other couples on the circuit. And I know for Laura and I, when we used to race, we were always up against other couples to see who was the better out of the couples. So I think you guys took that title as well on the weekend. So congrats to you both. Mate, this has just been absolutely fantastic. One final thing, like I mentioned earlier, you're working with the Phoenix Foundation. Tell me a little bit about that, because I saw you throw on the headband right as you took something out of your top and threw it on your head, and I had to actually zoom in and figure out what you were doing. Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, so the Phoenix team is a team of athletes, including Jacob Birtwhilstle, Alistair Brownlee, Georgia Taylor Brown, Katie Zaferes, Radka Kalfeld. And so basically that's an association, and we want to help kids to move, to practice sports, and to socialize with sport and all this stuff. We want to kind of inspire the kids to be more active, because now it's 2020 and I'm 31 years old and I'm kind of the old guy, and I can see these kids spending more time in front of screens and not really moving, playing video games, all this stuff. And we go into schools trying to talk to the kids, trying to make them moving more, doing sports. And through triathlon, it's a good way to try to put them into sport, either swim, bike, run, or either the three of them. But it's mostly a spirit, about just trying to put the kids more active and trying to sustain a healthy way of life. And when I got the opportunity to join the team last year, and I spoke with the team manager, and I was really keen to be part of this adventure and do my best to help them to promote sport to the kids.
I love what you guys are doing. I think that's fantastic. It's an incredible team they've put together. Not just great athletes, but some of the best people I know. So I think they've done a very good job recruiting people to inspire kids to get out there and get moving. So congrats on that, mate. Mate, I know you're tired. I know it's been a massive weekend. I can't thank you enough for coming on and just going through the day. I just really, really appreciate it, mate. You're a true champion, and I feel really privileged and honored that you came back onto my show to have another chat. So thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. And I'm really looking forward for your next guests. I had really good fun to listen to you podcast with Maka and also with Tim Dunn. The last one I listened to, it was really good fun. And every time there is a new one, I'm just that's gonna be a good love for my next easy run that I'm gonna listen to this podcast. So keep the good job going.
Thanks,
and I'm really happy to help you doing that. And thanks again for having me twice. And that's a true honor.
Oh, mate, I appreciate that. And like you, I really enjoyed both Chris McCormack and Tim Don. I don't think I'd ever laugh so much, but it is fun. I'm enjoying chatting to all you guys. So thanks, mate. And thanks, everybody, for listening. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot for listening to Be With Champions. If you enjoyed the show, your support would truly be appreciated. You can visit the Be With Champions Patreon page, or you can subscribe with your podcast app of choice. Don't miss the next episode, so subscribe and be notified. For show notes, if you want to know more, please visit bennettendurance.com. I'm Phil Liggett, and on behalf of Greg Bennett, here's to the next time, and I hope you will join Greg again very soon.